welcome to TLC. Buenos días. ¿Cómo estás, Orlando?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien. Happy Easter. Felices Pascuas. ¿Cómo la pasaron?
Muy bien. Took a break with the family and saw a lot of friends. Probably ate more than I needed to, but here we are.
He always said the same thing. Oh, I gained 4 pounds.
Yeah.
You already running in the park?
I am.
Try to lose everything?
Yeah, I need to work it off for the next month.
Well, welcome everybody. We prepared a very good show because we went on April 5th to San Antonio to celebrate the Top Tejano Award and also el Tejano Day. Por primera vez, el 6 de abril celebramos Tejano Day, but I'll let you to explain everything. What is that? Because you had a lot to do for that special day.
So last year, TLC worked with the state legislature and the governor's office to pass Tejano Day in Texas, which is celebrated this year on April 6th. So every April 6th in Texas is Tejano Day in Texas, a recognition of the contributions that Tejanos have made to the Republic of Texas. And on April 5th, we took our Tough Tejano Award to the Whitty Museum in San Antonio, and we had the honor of having the governor of the state of Texas join us, along with former Congressman Henry Bonilla, former Secretary of State Hope Andrade. Of course, we had our chairman of our event was Charlie Amato, who's a businessman in San Antonio, and we had a entertainer that everybody knows, Chingo Bling. He's been on our program from Houston. He's a rapper, singer-songwriter, and quite an entertainer. Had everybody in stitches laughing. So it was a great program, and we wanted to share it with you today.
Yeah, so I was filming that day. I was the photographer, slash.
In your tennis shoes.
In my tennis shoes. So we just prepared the highlights and the clips for the most important things that happened during that event, since many of you guys didn't go. It was a sold-out event. We were so happy having Governor Greg Abbott with us and celebrating that special day. So here, roll the video.
This is a great day for us who believe who share the same principles that were outlined in the video and that Orlando outlined earlier today. I've been involved in politics now for 30 years, and this is the most excited I have ever been about our prospects in the November election. A lot of it has to do with what Texas Latino conservatives are doing. A lot of it has to do with what Governor Abbott and his great political organization are doing. A lot of it has to do with other organizations that are working hard throughout Texas right now to set new standards and new vote turnouts in Hispanic communities. And you know what? Even CNN, even the Washington Post, and even the New York Times, and even Texas Monthly are reporting on it now, because it is not just an opinion, it is fact that we are setting new records for turnout among Hispanics in GOP areas. The left, sometimes when I still run into some of my friends on the East Coast, they kind of shake their heads, they can't figure it out. And it's interesting how a lot of them just think that we, because of the color of our skin, are automatically going to fall in line with some of the left-wing principles now that you see highlighted every day. I was born in a housing project, as you saw in the video. I still identify with the neighborhoods in South Texas. Our people do not support open borders. Our people support the police. They do not want to defund police. And our people also support the great energy industry that has helped make Texas and this nation what it is today. And the patriotism as well that we see in our neighborhoods is something that we are proud of in our neighborhoods. And when the national anthem is played, whether it's at a special event or whether it's at a sporting event, we stand proudly as patriots that still love our country in spite of some of the challenges that we're facing. When Orlando first called me about putting this lunch together, it was a great idea, but it was going to require a lot of work. And look who we have here today. The people that I've been able to greet so far are not only the ones that have helped us get this far politically so far, but a lot of new faces that were fired up about having you all here today. And then with the governor agreeing to attend and help us today has made this the biggest political event in Texas today and beyond. And so again, more fired up than ever. Before we enjoy lunch, in just a few seconds here, I want to take the privilege of reintroducing my special guest, Trish DeBerry, who is our candidate for county judge in Bexar County. Trish, please stand. I promise you, I have known her since she graduated from college. She is one tough Tejano. And I would venture to say also that her Spanish accent is probably better than most people's in this room here today. I have never seen anyone put so much skin in the game as she has. We are now going to enjoy our lunch, but as we do enjoy our lunch, we're going to have some special entertainment by Chingo Bling, who is rapper, actor, producer, comedian, and social media phenomenon. Enjoy him while you enjoy your lunch, and we will begin our program promptly.
TLC, San Antonio, how y'all feeling? Come on now, I know the GOP can be looser than that. What's up? Keep it going, DJ, keep it going. I didn't say cut it yet. This is where you make some noise. Oh yeah, it's a party today over here where y'all let's say ow. Yeah, I like it, cut it. San Antonio, I don't know if I'm gonna do cordless or podium. I think I'm gonna go with cordless, it's louder. Yo, I haven't seen you guys since gas was $2. It's been a year. A lot has changed in a year, man. Have y'all seen the price of fajitas lately? I'm telling y'all, that's the thing that can really tip the scale. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm not no political expert, but if you go door to door and you be like, Senora, have you seen the price of menudo? It's getting outrageous. We need to make barbacoa great again is what I'm trying to tell you. If you got a drink in your hand, put it up real quick. I want to do a toast, please. A toast, a toast. I would like to do a toast to freedom, and I'll toast to that. Can't wait till they legalize it all the way in all the states. Because I travel a lot, and I notice not everybody's as free as we are, so we appreciate it. We definitely appreciate our freedom. And anybody here know me from my rap days back in the day? Okay, we got 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got 5. Okay, some of the servers, I think they recognize me. 6 people know me from my rap days. I started at Trinity College Radio. I made mixtapes. My distribution was Poteet Flea Market. Those are my roots, you know, and I didn't have any connections in music, so when I started, I knew I needed a crazy look and a crazy name. I had my cowboy hat, my diamond-encrusted grill, shorts, boots with a Nike swoosh, sass. And I'd go to the nightclubs and I'd say, hey man, I'm a new artist, check me out. And they'd be like, dude, what the heck are you wearing? And I'll tell them, this is Chingo Bling swag. They're like, what does Chingo mean? I'll tell them, a lot. They're like, a lot of bling? Yeah. But now I'm 42, I'm married, now I'm Chingo the kids, Chingo the bills, Chingo the inflation, Chingo the taxes, todo, Chingo the responsibilities. On Sundays, Chingo the errands. And my vehicle is crowded, man, Chingo the car seats. So the Chingo's still there, but you know, the bling ain't, that's in storage, you know. So right before the pandemic, you know, my wife's my tour manager. Give it up for my wife. Give it up for my wife. She's right before the pandemic, we got a call to go do all Spanish comedy in Mexico. Yo, I was scared. I had never did that before. You can't take no half-ass Spanish to Mexico. And then your mom gets a phone call, now you're getting your butt whooped and you're 40. So I had to practice, man. I got in that mirror, I was getting ready for my trip, I had to have that good professional Spanish. I was just in the mirror like, ¿Qué pasó, México? Yeah, ¿sabes, puto? Even if you don't speak Spanish, you can probably do some context clues like this looks very inappropriate. I don't know what the arm to the rib means. They told me too, they're like, Chingo, keep it clean. I said, okay, I'll do a little bit of sign language. So my wife and I, we fly out to Mexico. We land, we call Uber. They got Uber now in Mexico. Umberto shows up. We get in the Oberto, we're cruising through the city, Monterrey, and I start noticing people begging with signs, like cardboard signs under the freeway, and it was kind of reminding me of Austin a little bit, and I'm like, damn, where we at? This 35? Where we at? What is going on? So I asked the driver, I was like, Senor, what's going on? Inflation, unemployment, did the peso collapse? He says, no, amigo. These are our neighbors from the south. They come over here, they bring their problems. We need to build a wall and make Honduras pay for it. I was like, damn, Mexico got wetbacks too. I didn't say it, I thought it. All right, we keeping it appropriate. I didn't say it out loud. And I told my wife, they call theirs Hondurans. Because the man, he sounded so rude when he said it. I was like, sir, you can't, where I'm from, you just can't be expressing certain things. We have to walk on eggshells in America. You know, they'll call you either a bigot or a sellout, depending on what color you are. And, is that facts or not? And he's like, well, this is Mexico and we still have freedom of speech. I said, well, cancel culture is coming for y'all too, so be ready, Julio. He says, we need to make, he said, Mexico first. So yeah, he started telling me about the Honduran woman in Mexico that went viral. You know, they had her on the news, they're like, what's going on? And she started complaining, the lady from Honduras, she's like, the Mexicans, they keep giving us beans and tortillas and beans, and we're tired of it. And Mexico was like, lady, that's what we eat, and we're tired of it too. They were offended. I had never realized it was like that, man. You know, the media doesn't show us how nuanced it is. They just make it seem like they're okay with everybody passing through Mexico. And I told the Uber driver, I was like, Senor, have a heart. They're just passing through. They just want a little bit of that Mexican dream. He says, no, they're taking advantage of Mexico. Mexico first, God. True story. This shit really happened. Excuse my language. So we get to the show, right? All Spanish. Boy, I hit that stage. I was killing it. ¿Qué pasó, México? They were loving it. This whole side of the room. J-A, J-A, J-A. Exclamation point. And in Mexico, they'll give you an upside down exclamation point at the beginning of the sentence. They're giving you a heads up. Get ready, I'm about to yell at you. So the show was going great, except this side of the room, they weren't amused. They're just staring at me. I was like, okay. I get off stage. Some of these people approach me. They're like, we're a little disappointed. We thought the show was going to be in English. I was like, oh, whoa, y'all speak English? Like, where y'all from? They're like, we're from Dallas. Hey, I didn't know Dallas was going to be a punchline, but thank you for laughing. If I ever need a laugh, I'll just say Dallas. And I said, oh, okay, so you're here on vacation? He's like, no, deportation. I'm like, oh, you live here now. I should have known. They all had Air Jordans on this side of the room. I should have known. These ain't Mexicans. So yeah, so after the show, my wife and I, we're looking for some tacos, you know, some authentic Mexican food. We're walking around, checking out the city. All of a sudden, somebody yells out, Gringo Bling! Dawg, they call me Gringo Bling in Mexico? I told my wife, hold me back. Tell me it ain't worth it. Hold me back. Say it loud. Say something like, you're lucky he's on papers. He's on probation. It ain't worth it. Say it loud so they know that we know that it ain't worth it. Anyway, it turns out it was my female cousin, my prima. She was tipsy. She's like, you're all mad. Gringo Bling, quiere llorar. He's all mad. Comedian. All mad. So she's like, hey, let's hang out. Let's have some drinks. Tell your wife. Get permission. See if she lets you. And I had to remind her, hey, I'm Mexican-American, but I still got Mexican in me, so I don't need no damn permission. So my wife and I, we had a little huddle, and, you know, we got it approved, but it wasn't no permission. So we're having a good time in Mexico, my cousin. The drinks are flowing, we're eating, and the jukebox is going, And she's like, hey, your wife is very beautiful. What does she do? I was like, oh, she's my tour manager. She's like, oh, excuse me? Wow, la manager. Wow, wow with a G, wow. I'm sorry, la manager, she's the boss. I said, no, we're a team. She said, oh, she's the coach. After that, she crossed the line. She went too far. She said, "Primo, you're a mandilon." Let me tell you what this word means, all right? It sounds like Mandalorian. That's Star Wars. That's something else. That's something else. Mandilon is the worst insult you could call a man in Mexico. It's like you're not an alpha, you're beta. Not Beto, that's another beta. Come and take it, Beto. That's all I got to say about that. That's all. Hey, this is Texas, and yeah, come and take it. So she called me a mandilon. If you don't know what this means, it's a very bad insult. Right when she said it, the jukebox cut off. Every man in that bar dropped their cerveza. They're like, ¿qué? ¿Qué? Even the bartender, he wasn't even drinking. ¿Qué? I was mad too. Dropped my margarita. ¿Qué? If they had White Claw, I would have crushed the can. ¿Qué? Ain't no damn mandilon. See how I'm doing on time real quick. They said 15 minutes of appropriate humor. She catch my drift. So I just want to say, man, I'm so glad that, I love doing stand-up comedy. I'm on the Legalized Freedom Tour right now. We just did West Palm Beach the day before last, and we're hitting Tacoma, Washington next. I'm representing Texas. I'm going coast to coast. I'm sticking my neck out. I'm catching all the arrows, trying to convince some closed-minded people in a subtle way. Thank you. I have a podcast, it's called Red Pill Tamales. Because you can either pick the blue pill tamale or you can eat that red pill tamale and you can see what's really going on. A lot of people liking that red pill. So I'm just very grateful for this job. Too bad my dad doesn't consider this a real job. He's like, mijo, yeah, mijo, get a real job, a man's job. You stand on stage and you say stupid stuff to strangers and some of them stare at you. Yeah, mijo, get a man's job, a real job. You're drinking at work with your friends, mijo? That's not a man's job. When I drink at work with my friends, people get hurt. He shows off the nub any chance he can. No, mijo, está cabrón, la inflation, mijo, la pinche inflation. So my dad, he gives me a hard time because he forgets who helped him study for the United States citizenship test so he could be a citizen of the #1 country in the world. Yep. Give it up for him, give it up for him. I was up late making flashcards, making sure he was prepared. I would boom, Bill of Rights, Constitution, das. I had a test the next day. I was in the 3rd grade, so we were learning together. It was a messed up study group, really is what it was. He forgets, but, as soon as he got his papers, when he passed that test, I'll never forget, man, he came home so proud. He's like, mijo, I want to talk to you. I was like, oh, what happened, Dad? He's like, mijo, we need to talk. I was like, okay, what's up, man? Have you seen what's happening at the border? I was like, what? He's like, we went from kids in cages to Haitians under the bridge. Los Afghanis, los Ukrainians. Yeah, mijo, we're full. America's full. I was like, bro, you literally just got your papers. I was like, you're not even from here. He's like, but now I'm here and we're full. Mijo, we're in a pandemic, the economy's shaky, pobrecitos. I'm an immigrant, it breaks my heart. I mean, but right now, maybe we should put the sign on the door. Right now, we're out to lunch, we're gonna fix some things, make it nice. Get the money flowing again, and maybe if we need labor, we'll let in a couple, but ahorita we're full. He caught me off guard. I'm telling you, I caught him watching NASCAR the other day, I swear to God. He switched it back to soccer. Nothing. He wears camo and don't even hunt. What's going on, Dad? So, I like to reach across the aisle anytime I can. I like to be cognizant of when I'm trying to persuade people to look at, the bigger picture. So, I try to keep an open mind and look at things from different perspectives. And I will say that, Joe Biden has created some jobs. It's someone's job to remind him every day he's president. And that wasn't a job before. That's a new job that was created. Because they gotta, come on, Joe. And that dude's name is Kamala Harris, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's somewhat appropriate, somewhat appropriate. It's hard to be funny and be nice at the same time. Comedy isn't nice, people. Come on, relax. Yeah, so, I have to be careful when I do that joke on the road, because sometimes, some Latinos are they just get into that tribal, like, hey, what you say about Kamala, big dog? Hey, fool, what you say about Kamala, big dog? Like, hey, fool, relax. you being an activist, sir, relax. So, yeah, I just want to remind you guys, I am shadow banned on social media, so please follow one of my pages. I have backup pages now. I have 2 TikToks, 3 YouTubes. I mean, I just keep getting silenced. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Little old me. I don't know why Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want little old me to have an opinion in this free country. But last time I checked, this is America, not China. So, we still got, we can still say stuff, kinda, a little bit. So let's definitely enjoy the day, enjoy our freedom. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out. My name is Chingo Bling. My podcast is Red Pill Tamales, and it's the Legalized Freedom Tour. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Chingo Bling. Thank you.
Governor, I sure hope you get an ovation like he just did. I don't know who laughed harder during your presentation, me or Charlie Amato, eliciting 3 people from you, but thank you, that was amazing. We're going to have for just a minute a young man who just got elected to City Council in Kerrville. Roman Garcia is living proof of what can happen with when Texans, Latino conservatives get involved in a campaign. And we're so excited about his victory, and he is the next generation for what the seeds we are planting today. Roman.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Representative Lujan in advance for being awarded this year's Tough Tejano Award. Thank you for everything you're doing, sir. Let's give him a round of applause. Now, 2 years ago, at the age of 18, I ran my first election for City Council in the city of Kerrville, which is just about an hour away from here, if you don't know where that is. Unfortunately, that first election I didn't win. But as you know, we Latinos, we conservatives, and we Texans are strong and resilient, and we don't back down from a challenge. And neither does a Garcia, as my parents would tell me growing up. So I went on to run my second election for City Council last year, which began just a few months after my first election ended. And with the support of my community, a lot of political figures and leaders, and a number of local political groups, we were able to gain just around 15% more votes than my liberal opponent and win the seat. And today, I am honored to serve the people of Kerrville as the youngest sitting elected official in the state of Texas. Organizations like Texas Latino Conservatives play such an important role, and they are the kind of groups that we need to help educate not just Latino conservatives, not just Latinos, but all conservatives. And I'm proud to be here to support Mr. Orlando Sanchez and the TLC team in their goal to engage, educate, and motivate those who are eager to participate in Texas politics. Now more than ever, we need more Latino conservatives, especially the younger generations, to step up and protect our Texas culture and history. We have a civic duty to leave a better Texas for my generation and future generations. And God willing, I look forward to possibly one day leading the great state of Texas. Don't worry, Governor, I'm not as of age yet, so I'm not putting my hand on the ring. But once again, thank you, the Texas Latino Conservatives, for what you do. Thank you all for being here this afternoon, and I look forward to seeing what more we can all accomplish together. Thank you. God bless.
And now we have a special presentation from Cindy Canavero from representing McNair Interests out of Houston. Cindy, come on up.
Thank you. First of all, I want to tell everybody in this room, happy Tejano, Texas Day. This is the first year of a 10-year celebration of Tejano, Texas, because of our governor, Governor Greg Abbott, and some brave men and women in the Texas Senate and House, the legislature, and most importantly, to a man named Orlando Sanchez, who had the courage and the vision to sit down and put together, working with historians, the history of the contributions of Tejanos to Texas. And he worked with the legislature to get a bill sponsor, and they took this through. It was approved pretty quickly, particularly by government standards. And Governor Abbott signed it a year ago today. Is that right, Governor? We thank you so very much, and we hope that as each year progresses, that this will become a bigger and bigger celebration. We need you for that. So again, happy Tejano Day. I'm honored to award you TLC's first Trailblazer Award for your dedication, your vision, and your continued leadership.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
I know we had a statue up there. I said to Shannon, why do we have two? She goes, get away. So now I know. Thank you.
What a legacy, Orlando. Congratulations. And now we're going to move to the main honoree today, State Representative John Lujan, for his Tough Tejano Award. Tejano men and women were the founders of the state's oldest permanent settlements, including the cities of San Antonio, Nacogdoches, Victoria, Goliad, and El Paso, and they were the first to name many of our state's waterways and natural features. Legendary Tejanos played an integral part in the effort to settle Texas and negotiated peace with the Comanches and other indigenous peoples. On April 6th of 1813, Tejanos were the first residents to declare an independent Texas, and at the Battle of Medina that same year, they gave their lives in a bloody battle with the Spanish Royalist Army that remains the deadliest clash in the history of Texas. Throughout the state's history, Tejano men and women have been champions of social and political progress while exerting a tremendous influence on our way of life. Deeply devoted to Texas, they have overcome injustice and discrimination to play an instrumental role in laying the foundation of the Lone Star State, and it is indeed fitting that their contributions are officially honored on April 6th, Texas Tejano Day.
All right, John. You want to say a few words? I know you're always short on words.
Y'all may be seated. Hey, first of all, I want to say thank you for this award. It means a lot to me. But I want to thank you guys for being part of this, because if we can share this message, that's what's important. We got to get this word out. The TLC does such tremendous work. And the things they did for me, some people would tell me, John, you know, when you asked me to go speak in El Paso, and now the leadership conferences, they asked me to go and speak. And you're right, I'm not short on words, and I love to get out there and share the message. So I've been to El Paso, I've been to the Valley, Corpus, and I'll do anything for TLC because we've got to maintain our state, right? We cannot fall back. Texas is a shining state in our nation, and we need to preserve that and help that grow. And I'm so honored for that. There is some downsides to this award, though, I will tell you. And the downside is I got a house full of boys. And, you know, the other day I was picking up some, we did this garden thing, and I'm picking up something and couldn't lift it. Oh, you're the tough Tejano guy. I thought you were doing something. I'm getting all these tough Tejano jokes, even at work, you know. Hey, I tell somebody to do something right. You can't do it. You're the tough Tejano. So I get all of that stuff. But that's okay. That's a good thing. But before I get down, I do want to mention two things. Tough Tejano truly are mom and dad can. And I like to talk about family too much because I get emotional. And you can't get emotional if you're the Tough Tejano guy, right? That doesn't look right. But thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for allowing me. Thanks for all you do. Thank you.
We're going to bring the governor up now, but just take 1 second. I saw my friend Roy Barrera in the crowd here today, and Roy, you are a pioneer and a great leader in our party for years. Thank you for joining us here today. Congratulations, John, on the recognition today. You really do set the standard for grassroots, and I wish every Republican was like you. And we would have incredibly even greater success around the state and around the nation. And now, Governor Greg Abbott. Governor Abbott, thank you for establishing Texas Tejano Day in Texas. Thank you for all you've done to make our state the shining example of economic growth in America. If Texas was its own country, we'd be the 10th largest economy in the world. Thank you for all of your efforts to make sure parents play the largest role in our children's education, and for ensuring that radical left-wing woke curriculum stays out of our schools. Thank you. Thank you, Governor Abbott, for all you do to mobilize state law enforcement to protect our citizens from the hundreds of thousands of illegals from all over the world who have invaded our state over the past year. And thank you, Governor Abbott, for supporting Texas law enforcement. Thank you, Governor Abbott, for always embracing all of our Hispanic neighborhoods from the very first campaign you ever ran and to this day with your policies and everything you do in our great state. Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Greg Abbott.
Thank y'all very much. Give it up for Henry Bonilla for his leadership. It's really remarkable because there's been so many trailblazers who really were involved as a catalyst in connecting the Hispanic community in Texas with the Republican Party. Henry is one, Hope Andrade is another, Roy Barrera, who I did not see. Roy Barrera, when I first ran for Attorney General, there preceded me Roy Barrera, who ran for Attorney General here in the state of Texas. He took me under his wing, mentored me, worked with me, connected me with the folks here in San Antonio and elsewhere. Roy, thank you for your legacy of leadership and connecting the Hispanic community with the Republican. We also have with us here today two other, that I know of, at least two other elected officials at the statewide level. We have Jim Wright, who's with us, who's on the Railroad Commission. Jim, where you want you to stand up and be recognized. Thank you for your service. And we have your very own state representative, Steve Allison, who I think represents the area where we are. And I want to call out Orlando. So Orlando and I, there probably is no one in this room that I've known longer than I've known Orlando. Orlando and I go back to my Houston days, back to the 1990s at least. And it was really fun to watch Orlando work his way through the political system in the community of Houston, leading on to your own public service in Houston. But not only were you a tremendous public servant, you were an outstanding role model to show what Hispanics can be as leaders of the community, whether it be in elected office or not in elected office. Thank you for being such a great standard bearer for what can be done in the Hispanic community, representing Texas and American values. Thank you. And then, of course, there's John Lujan. So you deserve this Tough Tejano Award for, in my opinion, one single reason. That others who have not put their name on the ballot would not comprehend. Him putting his name on the ballot, running for election. Do you know what running for election really is? You turn into a spear catcher. You are catching the arrows that are slung at you every single day. So you had the guts, the fortitude, the toughness. When we as a party asked you, begged you to put your name on the ballot and run in that district, we told you we would be behind you every step of the way. This is the first time. You did it, you won, you got elected. And then later on in the general election, you lost. And so there was an even steeper hill to climb. The second time, when we came back to you, that showed you really were one tough Tejano. To agree to put your name on the ballot again. You ran again. You got elected again. And now you're serving as a state representative second time. All I ask to everybody in this room, in November, elect John Lujan to the Texas House of Representatives. We need him to alter Texas for the next regular session. I mentioned in a way the way that Roy Barrera connected me with the Hispanic community, but as Roy himself knows, my connection to the Hispanic community began long before that. When I got involved in politics, people said, what Republicans really need to do, they need to reach out to the Hispanic community a whole lot more. And I had a handy answer to that issue at the time, and that is, listen, I reach out to the Hispanic community every single day when I put my arm around my wife and give her a hug. The woman from San Antonio that I married, who is now very proudly the first Hispanic First Lady in the history of the great state of Texas. So you learn something new every single day, and I learned something new today, and that's a good thing. And that is that the Republican Party has an ace card that we can throw down anytime we want. And the game is over. And all we got to do is use this ace card. The ace card is Chingo. So when Democrats start cutting me up, I'm going to call out the Chingo card. Say, Chingo. Take the stage, and it's over. It's lights out. That's some good stuff. We want to get you involved a whole lot more. So in a quasi way, I have a Chingo story that will not have the sense of humor to be able to summon to it. But listen, I'm as it concerns the Hispanic community, I'm kind of like, are there any converted Catholics here? Maybe not. You're a lot of natural born Catholics. You have converted Catholics. You have converted Tejanos, which is what I am, married to a Latina. And you learn things as you go through your marriage. And so my wife wanted to invite her family over for Thanksgiving Day. I thought, sure, that's fine. We got enough plates and stuff like that. I'm thinking we'll have, her mom and dad and brother and sister. We have 6 or 8 people. We had 250 people. That was her family. And you learn as you go. But that is a core component of what the Hispanic community is all about. And that is family. Another is the faith that you saw prolifically in the video profile of John Lujan. I know that faith permeates the people in this room. More importantly, it permeates the Hispanic community across Texas and perhaps across the world. So that faith, that family, and something that Chingo talked about, and that's freedom. If you had to reduce to one single word about what is the most important thing in the state of Texas, in fact, the most important thing that's on the ballot itself this November, in one word, it would be freedom. It's freedom that's threatened more than anything else. It's freedom that we cherish more than anything else. It's freedom that we need more than anything else. It's freedom that is challenged more than anything else. It's freedom that the Hispanic community in Texas embraces as much as anything else. And then a corollary to that is the free enterprise system. Listen, the free enterprise system is what has allowed the United States of America to be the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. It's that free enterprise system that the Hispanic community rightfully wants to tap into. And the reason they want to tap into it is they want to be able to achieve their own vision of their own business success so that they can provide for their own family and elevate their own family up the economic ladder. There's pride in that. You know, think about this. That it would be one thing if somebody gave you $1 billion. If Elon Musk called you and said, listen, Ching, I want to give you $1 billion. You'd be happy. But it doesn't give you pride. There is pride that goes along with having a job. There's pride that goes along with demonstrating a work ethic. There's pride that goes along with showing that by having a job, earning a paycheck, working your way up the economic ladder, that's success that you've been able to achieve, that you've been able to use what it lies within yourself and do better for your family. And in doing so, hopefully showing your children and your grandchildren what the right pathway really is. And that is exactly what the Hispanic community stands for with that free enterprise system. And that is exactly why the Hispanic community is so antagonistic to the Democrats these days by going through this system where the Democrats believe it's handouts. I want to hand you, give you this, give you that, give you this, give you that. And thinking that the Hispanic community is going to be dependent upon the handouts that the Democrats in Washington or Austin provide to you. Thinking that that is what you want. When in reality you want your own independence, to have your own job, to design your own future without government telling you what to do. And because the Democrats have not understood that, they've opened the door wide open for Republicans. Now there's several components of this, one of which is no one's going to embrace you unless you embrace them. And that's exactly why I've set an all-time record that no one even comes close to. I have been to the RGV more than any governor in the history of the state of Texas, making the connection with the people in the RGV. And it is fair to say, but in a way unfair to say, that I've been to San Antonio more than any governor in the history of the state of Texas. If nothing else, I've just been here with my family, my wife's family, etc. But for other reasons also. But there's that constant process of reaching out. The other is this notion, and I just relish in this because it's a notion that was talked about all the time for the past 10 or 15 years. Prominently by Democrats in San Antonio who preached one dogmatic theme that they convinced everybody, saying that the state of Texas is turning blue and it's just a matter of time. They said this phrase, many of you probably have heard it, that is, demographics are destiny. And what they meant by that, they knew that the growing percentage of population in the state of Texas that would become Hispanic. And mathematically they calculated, well, when that moment in time comes, the state of Texas is turning blue. So their description was correct. Demographics are destiny. Their calculation was wrong. Their calculation was once Hispanics have a plurality, which they do now have, of the people in the state of Texas would be blue. Their miscalculation was thinking that those Hispanics would be voting for Democrats. They got the calculation wrong. And we're seeing the results of it. Every year that I've run for governor, I've gotten about 45% of Hispanics. That's good. But let me tell you, what's going to happen this year, I will get more than half of the Hispanic vote in the state of Texas in my campaign against But what's taking place is far more than that. It's far more than what happens in my campaign. It's exactly what was talked about earlier. And that is the real difference. The movement of the Hispanic vote has gone this way. Hispanics did not vote. They stayed at home and really didn't get engaged. And then they began to turn into voters, and through that process, Republicans reached out and engaged with them and got them to go out and vote for Republicans increasingly. But now we are at an altogether different stage. The stage we're at now is where we are getting Hispanics to be the candidates who are running for office, who themselves will get elected. So they're going to be terrific candidates, just like you talked about Myra earlier. In addition to her, there's a proliferation of Hispanic candidates running for office in the RGV, in border-related communities, in the Dallas area, in the Houston area, in regions across the entire state. There was a time decades ago when you thought about Hispanics were in South Texas. Listen, Hispanics are maybe more populous in Harris County than any other state, in Dallas County, and the suburbs, and they're everywhere across the state of Texas. And just as they've gone everywhere across the state of Texas, their values have come out even more strongly, favoring Republicans more strongly, themselves wanting to get on the ballot. And when we have these incredible candidates on the ballot who are Hispanic running for office, they will bring out the Hispanic vote more. And the Hispanic community writ large is going to realize, wait a second, Myra is a conservative, she's a Republican, I'm like her, I agree with what she does, I go to the soccer games with her, go to the grocery store with her, go to church with her, things like that. I must be a Republican too. And you will see overnight a massive change. So not only am I going to win the Hispanic vote in the state of Texas, Republicans, for the first time ever, are going to win counties on the border. We're going to win counties in the Rio Grande Valley. We're going to win locations that have never been won by Republicans before. It will be because of Hispanic voting Republicans. And just like Henry Bonilla was talking about, all you got to do is look at the value sets. We have actually had an accelerant to this process. So naturally, Hispanics share conservative values. But the Democrats candidate made it easier for us than ever before, because there was a time when they used to be Democrats, and then they became liberals, and then they became progressives. Now they are socialists. They are representing and articulating and advancing the policies of Ocasio-Cortez. And Ocasio-Cortez, she may very well speak for the people of New York for all I know, but one thing I can guarantee you, the people of Texas, they don't believe in what Ocasio-Cortez is selling. And the Democrats in Texas, who are perpetuating exactly what Ocasio-Cortez has been selling, they are going to be crushed by Hispanic votes. Just like everybody was talking about. In Texas, Hispanics, just like everybody else. You want safe communities. You don't want to defund our law enforcement. You support our law enforcement officers in this state. My niece, the niece of my wife, is a member of the San Antonio Police Department. She goes to work every day, a proud Latina, working to serve and keep safe the people of this community. And you see, from the national security standpoint that Henry was talking about, listen, what's going on the border is unlike anything that's happened in the past. There was a time, there may still be a time when there's going to be a movement of agricultural workers. And for those who don't know, it was my wife's grandparents who moved from Monterey to San Antonio. They met in San Antonio, but they came here for work like so many other people have in the past. If you look and see what's going on the border today, that's not what's happening on the border today. There are people coming from 157 different countries, and they are bringing extraordinary challenges, including people who are coming from terrorist-sponsored nations. It is a violation of the president's oath of office to have open border policies where people are coming in who pose an imminent threat to national security in the United States. The Hispanic community does not support that. They strongly support our efforts to secure our border. And Shingo, you mentioned this. I mean, this just gets too easy. Because one thing, like we talked about freedom. Freedom is a broad concept, but we reduced it to words in the Constitution itself. The Constitution, through the Bill of Rights, guarantees certain freedoms, one of which that you brought up, and that is your Second Amendment right. And so, if you ever, I know there's potential candidates here. If you want to run for office in the state of Texas, do not get up with TV cameras on you and say, hell yeah, I'm going to come take your gun. You will never be elected that way. The good thing about it, people know that commercials, TV ads that you run are 30 seconds long, and we have a beautiful 26-second very conveniently, 26-second segment of Beto saying, hell yeah, he's going to come take your guns. You're going to, in October, you're going to say, man, if I have to see that freaking ad again, I'm going to shoot at it myself. I'm not going to characterize Beto. We're going to allow Beto in his own words of what he said about how, he said, hell yeah, he's going to take your guns. He said that he wanted to tear down the wall and he wanted open border policies. He said that the Green New Deal is the best solution he ever heard. That would destroy more than 1 million high-paying energy jobs in the great state of Texas. Energy jobs, by the way, that provide freedom fuel to the European Union that needs to wean itself off of fuel provided by Russia and instead use fuel provided by Texas. So in closing, let me just say this. I want to thank everybody here for what you all do in the Hispanic community to share your conservative values with others in the Hispanic community so that they can connect. They know you, they like you, they're your friends, or they may get to know you. And with you reaching out and connecting, it changes everything for them on an interpersonal level. That's exactly what you need. And so with your help, we will keep Texas red.
And so as you heard the governor saying that with your help, we'll keep Texas red. That means with your help, that means you have to register, you have to get out and vote, you have to participate in the political process. We'll keep Texas conservative. We'll keep Texas the beacon of the nation. If Texas was an independent country, we'd be like 17th world economy. And that's because of the hardworking people of the state of Texas. And as we all know, Hispanics are a plurality in Texas. We're the largest segment of the state of Texas now. The largest growth, according to the census, was the Latino community. And so, you know, we value this country. We contribute to this country. We come here to work, not to depend on government. We don't want a big government. We don't want a government out of control. We don't want a government that indoctrinates our children and tells us how to raise our children, our families, and how to live our lives. So as Chingo Bling said, the biggest thing that we've got to worry about is our freedom. We can't take our freedom for granted, and we can't let someone take our freedom. So it's important that you participate. It's important you register. It's important you vote. We have several elections coming up here in the month of May. April 4th, we're electing a lot of school board members. May 4th. And May 24th is the runoff elections like in Harris County. So get involved.
Very important. Get involved. Go, vote. Since I came to this country, and when the first time that as soon as I became a U.S. citizen, the first thing I did, it was go and vote. It's very important. And for me, it was not only a privilege, but it was an honor to vote in this country.
Did you ever vote for me?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. Also remember, Cinco de Mayo, we have a treat for you guys. If you go to our website, you will see that we have a famous Tejano artist out of Maverick County, Eagle Pass, Texas, by the name of Gary Hobbs, coming to Houston. We will be there May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, beginning at 7 p.m. The concert will go until 10 p.m. We have maybe another entertainer that will be a surprise, a mariachi, who happens to be Cuban. But he's a great mariachi with a great voice. Tickets are free. We have a limited capacity. I think we can hold 400 or 500 people. You will receive a ticket for 2 adult cold beverages on us. It's free. You just register and vote. You've got to be 21 years of age and bring your ID with you. So go to our website, TexasLatinoConservatives.com. Click on the link when you see Gary Hobbs, and it's real simple. Just register, and we'll send you an email acknowledging your registration.
El evento es completamente gratis, solamente tienes que registrarte, así que allá te esperamos para celebrar el 5 de mayo tomándonos unas buenas cervezas y unas margaritas para celebrar 5 de mayo. No es la independencia de México, solamente es...
Y acuérdate, creo que también el mayo 14 tenemos el Salud a Ti, que es un evento muy importante enfocado en la salud de nuestras familias. Así que le vamos a dar más información sobre eso pronto, pero por lo
Pero
pronto,
por ahora 5 de mayo.
5 de mayo.
Es la batalla de Puebla, no la independencia de México, but anyway, here we celebrate 5 de mayo, 5 de margaritas.
There you go. So
El
go to the
evento es
website.
gratis.
We'll see you next week. Take care. God bless.
Nos vemos, chao, chao.